Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel where today I am going to update you on my reading. And I am happy to report that I have finished a book this week. Sometimes that feels like just such an accomplishment. But the book that I finished is Discount Armageddon by Seanan McGuire, the first book in the Encrypted series, which is an adult urban fantasy series. And in this series, we are actually following a family of cryptozoologists who study and liaison with and sometimes hunt down the monsters that the rest of the world doesn't even know exists. And in this particular book, we are following our main character of Verity, and she is the second born of three Price children. And she is in New York trying to make her ballroom dancer dreams come true while also helping out the local cryptids. But there's now the Covenant in town, which is the Price family's sworn enemy, as in, like, if the Covenant know that the Price family still exists, they will try to kill them. And some of the local cryptids have started to go missing, and so Verity's got to track it all down. This is a reread for me. This is actually the third time I've reread it, although the first, I didn't remember much going into this one. It was a buddy read with my friend Julie, who has not read this series. And it was really interesting to come into this knowing what happens later in the series. And it was also really fascinating for me to figure out what I saw in this book that made me keep going, because I don't love Verity as a main character. Now, the really nice thing about this series is that the narrators change in the books. So the first two are from Verity's perspective. The next two are from her older brother Alex's perspective. We come back to Verity, and then in book 6 we switch to Annie, who's the youngest child. So, like, it's actually kind of nice to have different narrators. And I don't love Verity as a narrator. She's just not my type of character. She's a little bit wisecracking. She is young in this, like, early 20s. And the older I get, the younger she feels. I think that she's well written as an early 20s, especially given that, like, her family has taught her so many things growing up so that she could deal with the Encrypted. So she's very mature in many ways, and also, like, not mature in others. So I think she's well written. It's just not my kind of character. But what I found really fascinating was, of course, the world building. Seanan McGuire does really great world building. And in this book, she's laying the foundation for a lot of really different, really interesting cryptids. And so it was really interesting to see that happen. I love the scientific bent that we have. So, like, Seanan McGuire has a tendency to take inspiration from nature, and it was very much present in this book in a way that I like. It was just kind of fun. Now, I did like it. However, it was sometimes a little bit hard to get into because this isn't my favorite narrator. And so sometimes when I was reading, it was very much like, when are we going to get to the good books? And I know when I'm going to get to the books that I appreciate more, and that's book 6. But it's not bad by any stretch of the imagination. It was just one of those, like, kind of wanting to rush through the beginning books that I know that I don't love as much. But it's still good. I still ended up giving it 3.75 stars. It's good. It's just harder to come back to this book knowing how much better they are later in the series. So I finished it. It was good. And I don't know when we're going to move on to the next one. My buddy still has to finish reading it. She's only on page, like, 130. So I've got a little bit of wiggle room for, like, reading other things. As for the things that I'm in the middle of, let's start with the easiest one. Caliban's War by James S. A. Corey, the second book in the Expanse series, which is an adult epic science fiction. I have made progress on this. I am now 2/3 of the way in, and I have 0 other opinions on it. Like, nothing new, but I have made progress, which is great. The other thing that I have made progress on is The Blighted Stars by Megan O'Keefe, which is an adult science fiction with a heavy romantic subplot. And it is a really difficult to kind of describe this book, but Basically, it's about crash landing on a planet that is in the middle of an ecological disaster and having to survive. And there's some enemies going on. It's I'll figure out a better way to describe it when I give you like my full thoughts. But I'm really enjoying this. I'm about 330 pages in out of about 530. So I've still got 200 pages left. It's good. I do have a few quibbles, like the world building isn't as easily understood as I would like. Sometimes I get a little bit confused, but I really like the characters. I like the story that we're telling. And so I'm definitely willing to keep on keeping on with this particular book. And obviously full thoughts to come once I actually finish it. And that's it. Like, I am in the middle of trying to find a secondary book to go with The Blighted Stars because I finished Discount Armageddon. I picked something up, but it really wasn't for me, so I put that down, and now I'm in the middle of trying something else, but I haven't decided yet if it's like something that I'm going to keep on with, so we'll figure that out. But other than reading, I have been like still playing Gems of War, of course, but I'm also playing other video games. I'm trying some things out two-player with my husband. It's always a little bit of a mess when we try to play two players because there's not a ton of overlap in the games that we like that are also two-player. And so we're trying some out. It's been interesting. We're also trying some new board games with the kids. You know, every once in a while we get a board game, we're like, this looks really interesting, and then we just don't try it out. And so we're trying to like try all of our board games. So today we played Dixit, which turns out I don't love, but it was good to at least try it out. And then the only other thing that I've kind of been doing is working on my Starry Night Lego, and I'm about halfway done, and it is so much fun. I'm doing this one all by myself. The last one that I did, the Viking Village, I did with my husband, and we were kind of working together on it. And this one I'm doing all by myself. I just put on my audiobook and I just get to sort and like follow the directions, and it has been so much fun. So yeah, so that's been a lot of what I've been doing with my free time. So next week, mostly what I'm planning on trying to get done is I do obviously want to finish The Blighted Stars. I want to find another book to go along with reading it. That's it's probably going to be a romance of some kind. I would actually like to try to finish Caliban's War because I don't know when my audiobook is supposed to go back to the library. And I just like to kind of get through it because I've been in the middle of this for forever. So there is that. And then continuing on trying out second two-player games with my husband, and you know, more board games with the kiddos especially, and we'll see how all of that goes. And finishing up Starry Night. I do want to finish that Lego. But I think that's all I've got planned. I'm trying to kind of keep it low-key and just see how everything goes. But that's it. So if you have any thoughts or feelings about any of the things that I talked about in this video, please leave me a comment down below. Go ahead and like it if you enjoyed this. If you enjoyed this video, please leave me a like down below. And until next time, have happy reading, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!